Wes, I'm concerned that my cat is getting into some kind of scat fetish. Is this a concern that I should be having as a pet owner? Is this a common concern?
Well, I mean, potentially, what's the origin of your concern here? What's happening?
Well, I feel like Tornado has always been very interested in bathroom activities, right? She'll like do figure eights around my feet when I'm trying to poop.
Mm.
And it's weird, man. Like I feel like I've been sitting to pee ever since I got a cat because I'm like having a female around. It's like I feel like try to be a little more considerate. But dude, when I take out my dick and pee from standing, she's like, "What is going on there?" Right? Like she's like, "What?" It's like she wants to jump up on the toilet and like get a first,
Yeah.
very right. But lately, what it's been is I take out the toilet paper and I wipe, and she is like at full attention, right? She's like wants to get up and like shove her face into whatever I pull out of my butt. Like she's like, why aren't you just using your tongue like I do?
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I can relate somewhat as our newest, youngest cat has taken some interest when I go to the bathroom. And yes, when I'm in there pissing, she puts her two paws up and tries to look in the thing, and I have to kind of pinch it off and shoo her away. But I haven't ever had it to that level where she's taken that big interest in what I'm wiping. So yeah, I think maybe there is some grounds for
I'm think
concern there, but it could just be, curiosity, which is, common.
I'm thinking the only way to rectify it is that the next time she's pooping, I just shove my whole head in the litter box and go, "What are you doing back there?" Maybe she'll make the connection.
Turnabout, right?
Yeah, she's just gonna stop pooping altogether. She's like, I don't like what happens when I poop, which would be great for
But
me. I'd have less to clean up.
just move the litter box right in front of the toilet and just make it like a shared experience. At least, if nothing else, you'll have the bonding, right?
Absolutely. And I think we've accomplished our mission, Wes. Everyone is gone. Everyone is unsubscribed. This is now
Word.
we can start the real show. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 Wives Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure, but we care oh so much about what you consume in those tiny little cat ears of yours. That's why our good friend RidePop puts us up on podcast services of your choice. Most of the time it's on time. If it's not on time, it'll be there eventually. But don't hesitate to message me because sometimes we just don't know until you tell me. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here without parole. And this gentleman over here to my left, it's Wes Dillon from Virtual Strangers.
What up? What up? What up? What's up, Brian? What's up, cats? Happy to be here. Happy for my break time, dude. It's heating up. It's that time of the year where, you know, winter is starting to make its way into the rear view. The ice is melting, and the industry is getting warmed up. We've got GDC right around the corner, and I'm busy as hell at work, getting ready for it.
Nice. I'm adjusting your full screen frame here. There you go.
Okay.
Now you're looking good. Now you're looking good. We get way fewer complaints about the way you look and sound than a Monday show.
Okay, yeah, that's good, I suppose.
We had the angriest message from Not Sure Brando this weekend being like, "Can you please tell AJ to do something about his lighting?" And I was like, "Whew, all right, we're in it now. We're in it now. We are out of the age where Without Parole was held together with duct tape and coat hangers, and we were just happy to be live at all. Now we're in the age of Without Parole where it's like production values matter, Wes. I had no idea we had made it there, but now people care, and we got to fucking do it. So thank you for having a beautiful, I'm assuming, Half-Life Alex background.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what we have today. I was on Fallout for close to a week, and I thought it's time to switch it up.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Because of course, Half-Life Alex is coming to PSVR2 eventually, so it does all make sense. Makes sense. I'm still optimistic, even if I
Well,
shouldn't be.
using AJ's logic, it's already there, right? You just have to have the other thing to plug your headset into.
Apparently that's also PlayStation's logic, right? Like the blog post with
Right.
Half-Life Alex on the screen, you're like, what? Yeah, this is listen, I'm the eternal optimist, and which is funny because if anybody saw Monday's show, that doesn't sound like the person that I am. Been dealing with a lot of crap, and it spilled out Monday. I talked a lot about negativity, and I talked a lot about the comments, and I talked a lot about the general vibe of PSVR2 overall, and how we have to be more positive and like celebrate the victories and not sweat the small stuff so much. And I think that's all true. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for being so great about the response to that, because I know that it came from a place that, like, you know, where my head's not where it needs to be, and you guys easily could have been like, Brian, what the fuck, right? But instead you were very supportive, and like that's honestly, man, like why I love this community so much, because you, I'm I'm not some guy off the street that you don't get who's ranting and raving. Like I'm somebody that like you've known for a long time, and it goes both ways. I see your names, your people that I've known for a long time, and it really felt like you guys were there for me when I needed it. So thank you all very much. But the message stands. Let's be more
Yeah.
positive as a community.
And I think, you know, with regard to the support that you got afterwards, um, you know, obviously a lot of that comes from the community being so awesome and caring about you, and of course trying to support whatever you're coming out and you feel very passionate about. But I think that to some extent, a lot of us, you know, certainly can identify with what you're saying. You know, while maybe we're not always like boiling over and expressing it so much. I think a lot of us can feel and identify with that frustration that comes from just being sick of hearing the negativity, because there's so many people in the space on YouTube and other like social media that are always very quick to amplify the negative, right? And really accentuate it. And we all kind of try to overlook that stuff, but in the back of our mind, it just it accumulates, right? And you
Yeah.
just you get tired of it all the time. And of course, you know, we notice when things aren't the best or could have been done better. But you know, what's the point of just always never missing a chance to express your disappointment? Like it, you know, that negativity is contagious and it's toxic at a certain point when it comes to, you know, communities like ours. So,
Yeah.
well, again, while we all support you, um, you know, I think we all kind of agree to some extent with what you were saying.
Um, I see people like shit, it just scrolled past. Oh, it's free VR real estate in the chat. It says I've been a negative commenter in the past, and I apologize. I don't want you to apologize. I really don't. Right? Again, this came from a place where it's like I've been dealing with depression, and I things have not been rolling off my back the way that they should. Like I've been doing this for almost a decade. I should have thicker skin, and usually I do. But like, you know, when you're already dealing with some stuff, it's easy for these things to get to you. And so I don't want anyone to apologize. I don't want anyone to think that they're doing the wrong thing. I think we should voice our frustrations. We should voice our, you know, when we think things could be better. It's just people have made it their personality, their entire personality, to be like, you like just showing up to every GAMESCAST and like talking about, yeah, it's like we know we've been talking about this stuff for years now. It's like, so like you're not teaching us anything. You're not telling us anything new. It's like get your frustrations out, man. Right? This is a big community, and I don't want anyone holding back. I just don't want it to be your entire personality. And I got to tell you, Wes, I'm gonna jump around a little bit on our run of show, but I think this is
Right.
so important that we jump right to this. Um, Yesterday, XReal Games tweeted, "Come on, pop up, you got it." They tweeted this. They said, "Any PSVR2 players out there, drop a heart if you're still playing." Dude, can I just say, I retweeted it. You guys retweeted it.
Yeah. I saw your response too, by the way. I thought it was quite inappropriate.
Yeah. When you're going through a midlife crisis, you just say whatever the fuck you feel, apparently. Um, they, dude, the response, the outpouring. This is the kind of stuff I'm talking about, right? When we have the opportunity to show support for PSVR2, right? Instead of being like, oh, there's no games for PSVR2, or oh, we need Zero Caliber because there's nothing else on the platform. Right? No, what you guys did is you came out and everybody commented and everybody liked the comment and everybody left hearts and everybody retweeted. And look at this. So 454 likes and 22 retweets might not seem like that much to you until you go and check out what XReal's normally getting. Like, look at this shit. Um, they're 35 likes, 18 likes, 23 likes, 98 likes on this big announcement, 77 likes. Listen, in 24 hours, we as a community blew this tweet out of the water and we showed XReal. And guess what? Other developers who are definitely paying attention that there is so much love for PSVR2. You guys fucking killed it. This is what I'm saying. This is what we need to be more like as a community. Like, get out there, show your support in any way you can. And clearly, XReal was doing this. Why? To gauge whether they should be porting their games to PSVR2. And I think we proved in 24 hours that they should be.
Yes, this is extremely encouraging, not just the support from the community, but the fact that XReal's out here asking these questions and obviously testing the waters. Um, we touched on this a bit maybe last week or the week before, but the market's changing and segmenting, and we're seeing clear delineation now between premium gamers like us and casual gamers that are playing more like free to play, casual social experiences, and we're seeing kind of the standalone quest segment really trend toward the latter. So the studios out there that are still looking to support premium VR games are now kind of going back to the drawing board, since they feel like it's very possible that Meta could let them down over the course of the next year or two, and they're looking for additional revenue streams and ways to monetize their work. And I think that a lot of people who haven't been paying attention outside of the Quest ecosystem for a couple of years now, while they're in process of going back to Steam again, are realizing that PSVR2 didn't die while they were away like maybe they thought it did, and finding out that there's actually a lot of potential still in the platform, and that it's actually growing steadily, which is great. And I think that this is a positive sign. While it might not be overall a positive thing for the industry as a whole, I think it's very uh, positive for gamers like us who are interested in having the best games come to the platforms that we play on.
I didn't want to bring this up, but Tatum did in the chat. He says, "I mean, we've been telling XReal to bring Zero Caliber over for a while, and dude, they
I
had
know.
so many plans to do so. Right, first it was going to be, it's just this nonstop tease throughout the entire length of the PSVR1 generation. Right, so it's like I don't know, I get it. I get it. When developers were trying to bring their games over to PlayStation, I'm sure they tried and failed and dealt with like hardware issues, right? Because it was definitely not an easy platform to bring your game over to. PSVR was difficult, especially with the move controllers and the light tracking and all this stuff. So lots and lots of obstacles for developers to get through, lots of hurdles. Excuse me. And so it's like I almost understand. It's like, yeah, they tried and they tried and they tried and they never made it happen. But now it's like, all right, listen, PSVR2 kind of kicks ass. It's people are bringing the best versions of their games to PSVR2, the best looking, the best playing, the best feeling with the haptics and adaptive triggers. It's like now is the fucking time. So it's like if they don't do it now, then I don't know what they're doing. It's like we kind of give them a pass for the PSVR1 era, but we're not giving them a pass on the PSVR2 era. No chance.
No, and this is great. Hopefully this does happen, and I wouldn't expect it to take forever. I think we'll probably see Zero Caliber 2 for Steam probably fairly soon, and then hopefully they'll turn their attention to PSVR. It's a good game, man. I liked the original Zero Caliber. Zero Caliber 2 is like way better than the first one.
Nice.
Proper co-op shooter campaign, military shooter, story driven even, which is cool.
That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for like Pavlov got this massive update, and Breachers have been getting updates, and I don't know, man. I got really into Firewall Zero Hour when it came to competitive PvP modern military shooters. Not it's just not my thing, right? And it's like I did it for the channel, and I kind of fell in love with Firewall, the original one, and trying to get into something else more than that, beyond that, it's like it doesn't stick with me. And so a campaign based co-op shooter is definitely more what I'm looking for personally.
Yeah.
So I could be down
This
with this.
game, this is a game that's a lot like in the vein of Crossfire Sierra Squad. Well, while not
Nice.
on that level, like in terms of production value, certainly, and not as big in terms of scope, but it's that same type of arcade style gameplay with lots of weapons and attachments, just tons of weapons and attachments. And again, the multiplayer really stands out. A lot of the maps are really cool. No, it's just it's a solid title, much better than I expected it to be, honestly.
Nice. Dude, I gotta say, I love it. I'm looking over here in the chat, and I see everybody being like, I didn't even know about the tweet. I'm going over there right now. I'm hearting it. I'm retweeting. I'm liking it. I was like, awesome. This is we're getting even further engagement. Boy, how cool would it be if we get that thing to blow up to like 1,000 likes or something like that? Like, just
Yeah, go do
man,
it.
let's make it happen.
Gamecat Army assemble.
That's fucking right. We got the Gamecat Andrew Ehrenreich in the chat with the $5 tip. Just it. That's it. That's the whole thing. Sorry, audio listeners, you don't get that one. That's just for us. It's just for us.
This is not for you.
Vitology? Really? You pull out a Vitology
Yep.
reference? Nice. All right.
Mhm.
Elderly Morningstar with the 10 euros said PSVR2 has brought me 2 years of joy thanks to you, Brian, Wes, and AJ. Notice he didn't mention Miles. Fuck you, Miles. Telling us what's good and what's not, and it's your enthusiasm that's contagious. Thank you. Dude, it's so, when you work from home, when you don't really see anybody, and everybody's just a voice in your head or an image on a screen, it's easy to forget that, like, you might be doing good in this world. It might be like have a purpose and that people actually care. And it's crazy. It's crazy that I would even think that for a second, because you guys tell me all the time you're a very supportive community, and you tell me all the time how much I mean to you. And so it's crazy that I would ever think that I'm wasting my time here. This is me coming out of like a 3-week depression. This is what you're witnessing right now. So it's been cool. It's been cool. And also I was telling Wes a little bit about this before the show, and I'm not going to go deep into it because I want to make sure that like things pan out before I promise that they're going to happen. But there's going to be some changes on the channel, and I'm really excited about the future of Without Parole. I think you're still going to get a lot of what you love, and I think you're going to get a lot more on top of that. I just want to focus on the stuff that I love doing and what I'm passionate about, and I think it's going to be. I think 2025 is going to be fucking awesome. So I hope you're here for the ride, everybody.
Word.
Wes, I think we should move on and talk about the VR game showcase. We're curious about what we were going to see. I think it's happening on March 11th, if I remember correctly. And I know that there's going to be a nice presence from Flat to VR, as we talked about on last Wednesday's show. But without going deeper into what presence Flat to VR will have, I want to go deeper into what they announced yesterday, which I'm bringing up right here. Here it is. 5 games join VRGS, VR Game Showcase. Oh, it is March 11th. Oof, memory works every so often. March 11th, 9 a.m. Listen, we will be co-streaming this. I've already talked to Jamie Feltham. He encourages that. So we'll be doing this with his blessing, but also we are likely to have Jamie Feltham on the show before this, and he's going to tease even more about what we should see. So a lot of good stuff happening. But what they announced yesterday, so we're going to see Ghost Town from Fireproof Games, Prison Boss Prohibition from Trebuchet, Deep Cuts from Tiny Build, Exoshock from VRAL.
Viral, viral game.
Viral. Thank you. And a big surprise from Triangle Factory. Wes, do you have any speculation on some of this stuff? Like Ghost Town, I'm excited for Ghost Town. Like hands down. Like the Room VR, Dark Matter people are making a full-fledged adventure, like the thing I really wanted from a Dark Matter they're giving us has been in development for 4 years, which is a long fucking time for a VR game. So Ghost Town I'm excited for. The rest of these I'm a little bit of a question mark. Do you have any insight to add to any of these things?
All right. Well, yeah. First of all, I concur with Ghost Town. It looks amazing. It was announced a while back, and the fact that it's showing up here now, I think, it bodes well, right? I don't think they're just going to show up to give us a new trailer. We're probably going to get some news on that one, which is cool. Prison Boss Prohibition. I don't really have much to give you here. I wasn't really too keen on the first one. Didn't play it. It didn't look that interesting to me. But here we are coming back to the well, so we've got a sequel for that. Some people will enjoy that. Deep Cuts I had forgotten about. Now, this game was revealed before, um, and I believe may have even been co-streaming whatever event it was that it got revealed, because I remember talking to you guys about it. But I'd forgotten about it. Like this is one of those. It's an action game, some time manipulation going on with it, kind of sandboxy, but story driven, putting you through different like scenarios from like cliche movie scenes and things like that. And honestly,
Right.
game, this game had been occupying space in my mind, and I kind of, when Action Hero came out from Fast Travel Games, I kind of had gotten the two of them confused and thought, okay, no, that game's out now. But this is a different game, and they're very similar in premise. With Action Hero, being another one that puts you in these different movie scenarios, but literally that one is just like a super hot clone, and this one seems to be doing some different stuff. Um, so
Wait, so
yeah, I'd
what was the
forgotten
name of
about
this
this.
one? The name of this one was what?
This one is Deep Cuts.
Here, do I have a trailer for that ready? I'm pretty sure I did when it was announced, but
Yeah, we
here it
talked about
is.
this before, I remember.
Hell yeah, we did. And here it is. Nice. Yeah, I'd completely forgotten what Deep Cuts was until you just talked about it now, and I was like, oh right, I do remember when this got announced. Um, cool. Well, this should be fun then.
Yeah, I think we were looking at this as being some kind of like weird puzzle game in a sense, where you're gonna have these different scenarios play out, but it's like very physics based, and it's gonna be kind of up to you to find your way through it. There won't be a single solution, but you can kind of work your way through each scenario and find your way through it.
Nice. Um, so here's the funny thing. They said big surprise from Triangle Factory, and so if you go over to Triangle Factory's Twitter account, here, hold on a second. We're just gonna go through this way. This is what they tweeted in response to the VR Game Showcase tweet. Uh, they retweeted something they had posted last year. It's actually this really cute image where they said, "I guess we're doing games now." They were making triangles because they're Triangle Factory, right? And the triangles are coming down the line, and then this other game comes down the line that I'm not familiar with. Then Breaches comes down the line, and there's a question mark that's coming out of the machine. And the fact they retweeted it, and so first of all, I think this is a really adorable image. But then they zoomed in on the question mark, and they're like, so I guess it's not going to be a Breachers update or DLC, or
Yeah.
it's a brand new
Oh
game from
yeah,
Triangle
dude.
Factory.
That's that's going to be a reveal.
Yep.
That's awesome, because I had that question, right? When I saw this, I'm like, okay, Breachers has been out 2 years now. It's pretty feature complete at this point. It would make sense for a new title. But then again, they've got a very active and engaged community with Breachers. It would make sense for them to continue to add new content, new game modes, new levels to that game and support it long term. So I didn't know which of the two we would get, but it seems like you have solved the mystery here. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're just fucking lying to us, which I don't think they are.
Mm.
So that's pretty cool. I'm gonna
And
bounce back.
then ExoShock from Viral Games. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Viral Games is the publisher who brought V Rider to Quest last year, which is a super bike racing game. Super uh, like it's a simulation. It's a sim. It's a racing sim essentially, and a very well done one considering it's developed for standalone. Announced for PSVR2, coming to PSVR2. I can confirm that 100%. Um, but ExoShock is their latest project. Again, coming in as a publisher. They're not the developer of any of these games. They're publisher. But this game looks pretty cool. It's and full disclosure, Viral is a long-standing Impact Reality client, so I'm very familiar with the studio and their projects. Um, and I don't know exactly how much I can share, but what I can share is that this is a story-driven co-op shooter roguelite, and it looks really good. It takes inspiration from games like Doom and Fear, um, you know, Warhammer, Halo, these types of games. And it's been in development for some time, and it looks really cool. And you're going to hear more about this, obviously, very soon.
It took me way too long to track down a trailer for ExoShock. It was like everybody was, posting videos about the demo they played and first impressions and everything, and I could not find an actual trailer. What I did find, just on the fly here, was from a year ago. So I'm going to be bringing this up in just a second as soon as it's done converting. Um, so I'm guessing that this is probably some outdated footage, and it probably looks and plays better.
Yes, it is. But I mean, not that it's bad, but yeah, that's pretty much, early, well, not early, but it's beta footage that you're looking at. At a demo that went around a year, maybe a little longer than a year ago, and a few creators picked it up. But yeah, in a completely different state now. And again, you all see and hear more on this. Not just this, but pretty much everything that Viral's got going on really
You
soon.
listed a lot of inspirations for this game, but you didn't mention Bioshock, which is like, it's called ExoShock. It's like, is it not Bioshock inspired? Like, is that not a thing?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, how dare you? How dare you, Viral? How dare you? Hey, you know what? I love me some first person shooting. I love sci-fi games, so this already has my attention. Were you
Yeah,
for we? Sorry.
I'll have a lot more to share on it relatively soon.
This is kind of off topic, Wes. But on Monday's show, we talked a lot about Of Lies and Rain. That got announced for PSVR2 coming later this year.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with that game? Are you familiar with at least the demo and everything on other platformers?
I haven't played it, but I am familiar with it. The developer, um, damn, I always forget the title of their game. They're a solid Gen 1 game for Quest. What was the name of it? Arcanade? Yeah, I think it was Arcanade. Like a retro shooter on Quest,
Okay.
which was really cool. But this title here is obviously a big step up for them in terms of scope and quality. But they've been working on this for a pretty long time now, and these developers, they're on our Discord. They shared it with us when they started working on it forever ago. And it's like a Half-Life inspired story-driven shooter, and it looks really good.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I guess the only video I even have downloaded, I don't have the trailer downloaded. I just have VR Gamer for Reals footage that we showed, or True Gamer for Reals thing. I'm glad that popped up on screen. True Gamer for Reals. The footage that we used on
Yeah,
Monday's show.
I think they popped up in our Discord maybe a little over a year ago with a demo, and they were asking for people to play it and give feedback and things like this. But it was around the time that my dad was in the hospital, and I didn't have a lot of time for anything at that point, so I didn't get a chance to get in and play it. Um, but man, it looks really good.
Yeah. Cool, man. Cool. Well, listen, I don't want to stretch this out longer than we have to, but I think it's time to head on over to the PlayStation Store because we got quite the sale going on as far as
DEALMANIA.
yeah, you gotta wonder who internally is coming up with these names. Although there are a few that I love. Planet of the Discounts, I always think is great. Yeah. So hopefully, oh no, of course not. I used the link, and still I got to sort. So let's see here. I'm gonna include PSVR1 games in this conversation. I'm finding more and more people who are still buying PSVR1 games, especially now that they're on sale for ridiculously cheap prices. So the fact that I know that those people are here in our community, I feel like we should include PSVR1 and PSVR2 in this discussion.
Well, I can validate your decision making here, because by doing so, we have now ballooned our results up to the magical number of 69. So clearly the right decision.
Clearly, someone out there is trying to tell us that we're on the right path. Ace Combat 7. Holy crap. Almost forget that this game exists. And for as expensive as the full game is, man, $15 for the 3 missions that you get that are actually really replayable. If you're looking for something that really exudes AAA quality, even if it's not like the full game, $15 is not a bad deal. I'm saying to pick that one up, man. PSVR1.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. How weird is it that we've had so much hype for the shit, I've already forgot about it. Thunder, Ace of Thunder.
Yeah.
We've been so hyped for that for so long that we've forgotten all about Ace Combat 7. But yeah, the Ace Combat 7 is great. It's the standard. While it lacks in many ways, this was the title that let us know what we want from a VR flight sim, essentially.
Into the Radius, dude. $20. That's without Plus. It's even cheaper with Plus. Into the Radius, I feel like, is a steal at $30 full price. If you don't have this for PSVR2, I think you're out of your goddamn mind. Into the Radius, I think made our top 5 when it came to the top 50 list. What do you think? Worthwhile?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a dumb question.
Yeah, no. Somebody asked me yesterday. Somebody who just got a PSVR2. What are the games? What should I play? And I was just going down the line there, and the obvious ones like Gran Turismo and the Resident Evils and Saints and Sinners. And I got to this one, and I kind of got stuck on it because it's great. But games like this in No Man's Sky, they're so involved, right? And they're not exactly for beginners. But in terms of like quality, like they're absolutely on that level. So yeah, I think it deserves to be on that list for sure.
Yeah, and I wouldn't get too worried if I wouldn't want. Holy crap! Every time I bring that window down, it's gonna do this. Hold on a second. What if I do this instead? Boom. All right, I think I fixed it. Yeah, don't get to. I saw Nick in the chat say that he just started Into the Radius and he's already overwhelmed. Don't worry. If you're like, I wouldn't want anybody to not pick it up because they'd be scared of like it's too much, right? If you could, there's so many settings in the game. There's so many ways to make it easier. There's so many ways to make it simpler. And even me, who was like very nervous about the whole thing, I enjoyed how crazy it was and just how over the top it was. And I dealt with the weapons I wanted to deal with, and I dealt with the mechanics I wanted to deal with, and I sort of ignored the rest. And I had an absolute fucking blast doing it.
Yeah.
Let's do a couple rapid fire ones here because there are 69 of these, so I don't want to spend too much time on these. Swordsman VR for a few bucks off. It's 15 with the sale, a little bit more with Plus.
Sure, sure. I'd say so, especially if you got Plus. It's a solid title. I mean, it's kind of limited in scope, being an arena battler, but I think it is the definitive sword fighting game in VR. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love that it's got the PSVR2 upgrade and everything, but for me, it's like I don't know. At this point, they've done so much with it, and I'm looking for bigger games. I personally, I'd wait for this to go on sale deeper. I'd probably be like $7 or $8 for me, and that's not a slight against the game. It's just that like it's been around for so long. It's like it's just it time. It's just time for a deeper sale in my book, at least. Dude, Tekken 7, skip it completely. It's just a practice mode. It's a great game, but not in VR. Um, Green Hell VR for half price or even more.
Yeah,
They've
I would say so. I think Green Hill's really good. I haven't been back in it since like the early days, and it certainly lacked some polish graphically when I played through it. But I did play through it. You know what I mean? It held my attention all the way to the end. I don't finish many games, so the
yeah,
fact that I even played all the way through it speaks volumes about this game. And they've put on co-op mode since then, DLC. So yeah, like $13 is kind of a no-brainer, I think.
yeah, $13 and closer to what looks like even $10 with Plus. It's listen. I think you should buy it. I do think you need to be careful though. The last time I jumped in, it's like, man, it's like it still has graphical issues, but different graphical issues than it used to. I think the game used to look better, but as you pointed out many times, Wes, that like just a few feet in front of you, there's like a wall of blur that happens, and now they've gotten rid of the blur, but the whole thing just feels like it's falling apart. And like I think I'd rather have the blur, to be honest with you. I don't like whatever they changed. I don't really like. Um, so but yeah, for that price, it's easy to deal with some of these issues. Prey is don't think you're getting Prey. That's not what the game is. It's the DLC. Some of the DLC, like these mini games, escape rooms, a multiplayer Moon Crash DLC. It's very little, so I wouldn't get in there thinking that you're gonna play the campaign in VR. That's a no for me.
Yeah, I haven't played it, but yeah, I concur.
Uh, I've got mixed emotions about Cube. I know that people in the chat are like, it's amazing, and I think if you're like one of those people who like just love creative modes and like building, great. But I would say for me personally, Cube is great for what's to come. The fact that developers are promising lots and lots of improvements and listening to player feedback. I can't wait to see what Cube becomes. Right now, it's not really the game for me, but I'm looking forward to the future for it.
Yeah, agreed. It's a beautiful game, and it's got a great feature set. Limited audience, right? You have to be a fan of these type of games, which I am not. And in general, that's a it's still a pretty steep price tag compared to some of the other titles on this list.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like and again, I don't. I think the developer did a great job bringing us what they brought us, but I felt like a $20 price tag to begin with would have been more appropriate, and then once adding the features, get that up to 30. But so it's not quite where I want it to be price wise. But again, it's beautiful, and if you like building stuff, it's got some really cool things going on. The Room VR Dark Matter. We were just talking about the studio. They're the ones making Ghost Town. It is $20 and even cheaper with Plus. Just the only problem with this game is that it's a one and done. I tried to play through again, and I was like, oh man, it's like you remember the solutions. Like you've done it once, you're done. There's like 4 or 5 real stages, and it's like, all right, cool. That's the only problem. Otherwise, it's a great puzzle game.
Yeah, I agree with that. It is one of the best puzzle games that I've played. Story-driven puzzler. I think if it weren't for like Seventh Guest, I think this would pretty much stand alone in terms of games of this quality in this genre. So yeah, again, not a game for everyone. You got to be a fan of puzzle games, of course, but if you are, you're not going to find many better than this one.
What are your thoughts on Hubris, especially at the $12 price point?
Yeah, big fan. Which again, it's been a long time since I played Hubris,
Yeah.
since launch, honestly. Um, and in terms of like depth to the gameplay, it never was the deepest game to begin with. So I'd be interested to go back in it and see if it, how it holds up. But in terms of like production value, a very beautiful looking and sounding game, has a cool story for you to play through, and was fun. I enjoyed it at the time, and it's not a lot of money. So yeah, I'd say definitely at $12 for this is actually a really good deal.
Yeah, this is the top one, probably top of my list so far, right there with Into the Radius. Like, as far as buying stuff on this sale, like you need to have this $12. It's ridiculous. Again, every time I bring this game up, or every time this game comes up in conversation, I feel like I say the same thing. So let's fucking not break the habit. Why don't we have a million of these games? Like single player, narrative driven, like sci-fi adventures, just like first person shooters, like cool story, get lots of shit to collect. It's and it's a beautiful game. Like I don't understand why we don't have like 50 of these, but the fact that we have like 2 or 3, right, this along with like Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, like it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Drunken Bar Fight is 25 or 30% off, making it 12.74. Dude, I'm just so done with Drunken Bar Fight. Like I never liked it. I never really got the humor to begin with. I never like thought it was like that much fun to be like the physics based. Oh, look, I can pick up this guy up and throw him over the bar.
Right.
Yeah, okay, cool. It's good old tech demo. But I just never, even with the additions, I've never cared about this game.
Yeah, agreed. Same. I was done with this before I played it. I've never played it actually, so not interested at free. I wouldn't play this game. So
Did you play Trip? A New Way to Meditate?
nope.
Neither did I, so we'll skip it. Miles has gone to bat for it in the sense that like he enjoys it. I don't think the price point works for anybody, but we'll have to ask Miles about that next time we see him. Gorn is $10 on either platform. Wait, there's one that's PS4 and PS5, and one that's just PS4. The PlayStation Store never never fails to impress. What is that? Why does one of them have both versions and one of them have just the PS4? You know what? I'm done. 10 bucks. Not interested really. It was fun. I think it was a fun game when it came out on PSVR1. But I
Yeah,
just feel like these arena combat games, again, there's a very personal perspective. I think Gorn can be a lot of fun, and the goofy physics and the stretchy rubbery characters. Like there's some fun to be had there. I'm just not into it.
yeah. It's dumb fun, right? It's kind of funny. And I mean everything works mechanically speaking.
Although that's not even true, is it? On PSVR2, like they never even implemented smooth turning or something. Like there was something. I remember
Oh,
there was being,
really? What?
yeah. I remember getting into it recently, not recently, in the last last few months, and just being like, what the fuck? Like I can't believe they haven't addressed these launch day issues. So whatever it was, just made it like unplayable for me.
Oh, there you go. Steer clear of Born, I suppose.
All right, we're gonna start hitting on just some major ones here because again, I don't want to spend an
Right,
hour
right.
on each one of these. But Arcade Paradise for $12, dude. I forgot what I gave this game. Probably like an 8.9, something really high in the eights. Just surprisingly good. So much fun. Looks beautiful in the headset. Lots of shit to do, and a surprising level of depth as far as like the sim parts come in the story was surprisingly good. Definitely pick this up for $12.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not as quite as high on it as you are, but yeah, it's definitely a fun game and better than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, $12 for sure.
Gonna skip to Wipeout a Mega Collection, dude, for PSVR1. Again, one of the games we're always like, come on, Sony, like this needs to be on PSVR2 now. Just a beautiful, beautiful game, so intense. So like I think it's what 3 Wipeout games all in one game, all in VR. So much so much content here, dude. And this is about as cheap as it goes on sale. I remember it being like maybe $6.99 or $5.99, but like $8. This is a pretty typical sale for Wipeout a Mega Collection. If you don't have it for PSVR1, like you are missing out on one of the best games.
Agreed. A definitive title must own. I think you should buy it if it's not on sale.
Dude, Sniper Elite VR, 85% off. It's
Holy
$4.49.
shit, dude. So this is one of my favorite shooters of that generation. I really enjoyed Sniper Elite VR a lot. And again, one of the games I finished. Can't always say that. And the fact that it's less than $5 is kind of stupid, in my opinion. Yeah, everybody should buy that. Even if you don't have a PSVR, you should buy it, just in case you ever get one.
Or just in case they ever offer an upgrade to PSVR2. Just,
There you
yeah, I
go.
already have it, just in case. Um, yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Uh, putting it on sale for this cheap makes me really wonder, like, how many people are still buying PSVR1 games? Are they just trying to get the last couple dollars that they possibly can out of this, knowing that like people are done? People are done with PSVR1, and it's just, well, might as well get a couple bucks from a couple more people. It's
Sure.
got to be it.
It's digital rights is all that they're selling, so it's not like they're sitting on stock or anything. You might as well get what you can for it.
Yep. Uh, I mean, The Walking Dead Onslaught's the same price, $4.49 instead of 30. This. However, there were good things about this, but you could tell that it wasn't the game they wanted to release. And honestly, like we've got so many great zombie games, I can't imagine asking anyone to go back and spend even $5. More importantly, their time with Onslaught.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
that's
You,
exactly what I was going to say. You literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, I think that this game gets jokes made about it all the time. Like, I think literally every episode we make some kind of joke about this game. But it was certainly better than what most people think. There's fun to be had here, but with all the other stuff in the catalog to play, I think it's worth the money, but it's probably not worth your time.
yeah. Yep. Uh, yeah, we'll skip Thief Simulator. I feel like that game's just never going to be patched as much as it needs to be. In the last one on this page, I believe, is Ancient Dungeon VR, which, dude, okay. Here's what I want to say about Ancient Dungeon. One of my favorite games on PSVR2. One of my favorite VR games of all time. Shockingly enough, there are issues, right? Because it got updated with all this new content and the multiplayer support, and suddenly this incredibly polished game that didn't have a single issue now it's very spotty. Now it's like,
Oh, really?
cross your fingers when you play it because you may crash, or you may or you may start having frame rate issues and shit's appearing for some people but not other people, and or you may have a flawless experience like other people have been having, right? So I talked on Monday about how this past weekend I spent 5 hours playing with different people, mostly Rody, but different people, and wasn't able to finish a single run because the game would crash or something bad would happen, and like so I didn't get any credit for any of the things that I did over that 5 hours. None of it. Like Rody and I were on New Game Plus Plus, right? We had beaten the game twice and we were going for a third time, and it crashed on us. We're like, you've got to be kidding me. So there is a follow-up story. Our friend Tiffany Tolman wanted to play the game. And so Rhodey and I were like, we're going to take her in and we're going to show her the ropes. And she had to drop out halfway through the first round. But Rhodey and I stuck with it, and we did complete New Game Plus Plus. So we ran through the entire game 3 times, and I got a bunch of insight and a bunch of beast blood. And so even though we were experiencing a lot of bugs and glitches, we were able to finish. So I'm very happy we were able to do that. And I know that Eric Thulin, and he's working with Maze Theory. I know that they want this game to be perfect again. And so I have no doubt and no hesitation telling you guys to go pick it up for $16, because even when it's kind of glitchy, it's still one of my favorite games of all time. That is the longest rant for any of these games in the sale that you are going to hear. I just had to get all of that out. Are you a fan of Ancient Dungeon? How much time have you spent with it? I want to know. Are you with me?
So I only very recently got this in my catalog. Like I'm talking like a couple weeks ago, and I haven't been in it yet. I've tried a couple of times to entice people to go in it with me, and have gotten declined. So I haven't been in there yet. But I'm going in sheerly on the recommendation of you and so many others in the community that have insisted that it's great and I need to give it a shot. So I'm going to, but no, I haven't yet.
Okay. Well, if you need anybody to go in there with, you do not need to convince me. I should be
All right, cool.
I should always be ready to play some ancient dungeon. All right, let's see if that worked. Hold on a second. If I pull down the trailer, will we still see the same page? Yes, we will. Oh, I love when things work the way they're supposed to. It's so infrequent. Okay, we're gonna get on to page 2 of 3. This brings us to toy trains for like $7.50. This got a bunch of DLC recently that I haven't even checked out. Nice little cozy game. Nothing special, but nice. Have you played it?
Nope.
Nope. Moving on. Galaxy Cart, guys. Galaxy Cart for half price. Thumbs up, dude. If you, I mean, I don't even want to say especially if you have a racing rig, but especially if you have a racing rig. Nothing better than one hand on the wheel and another hand with a sense controller. You're driving with one hand, you're shooting enemies with the other hand. This is what I love in VR. This is why I want Grand Theft Auto in VR, because this is what I want to be doing in VR. It's so good. And they just keep adding to it. So many new tracks, so many new racers, so many new weapons. I mean, just nonstop. It's not going to be Mario Kart level quality. It's not AAA, but you need this shit. It's a great indie kart racer, and it's really the only one we have on PSVR2. You should get it.
No, it's really good. Night and day better on PlayStation than on Quest. Last time I played it, I tried to play it on standalone, and it wasn't as, I mean, it was fun, but not nearly as polished as it is on PlayStation. Really good on PSVR 2.
Wes, I've been picking all the games. I'm gonna if you're on the same page as I am, you tell me the next game you want to talk about. We will skip ahead at your discretion.
Zombieland Headshot Fever Reloaded.
Yes.
A game that I really enjoyed on when it originally launched on Quest. This is a node-based rail shooter that is built on chasing speedrunning leaderboards. Cool mechanic where headshots stop the clock, and stringing headshots together is kind of how you progress through the levels and score high on the leaderboard. Completely addictive. Um, this game got its hooks in me, and then when it came to PSVR 2, it got its hooks in me all over again. It's even better on PlayStation VR 2. It's got new content that wasn't on the original version. Really good game. Now, price tag, oh, I mean, it's $16 on sale. Save a little more, probably $15. So you probably could catch it a little bit cheaper, but I think it's worth the price, certainly. Thoughts?
I can't go to bat for this game because I played it and I was like, oh, this is fun, right? But it never got its hooks in me the way that like a normal rail shooter would, and so I've been meaning to get back to it. Although very surprised anytime a developer takes such good use of the haptics and the sense controllers and the adaptive triggers and the sense controllers. Like you can just tell that like a lot of love was put into this. This was not a quick port. I did not play the Quest version, and so I don't know what the difference in the graphics were, but like it's a nice looking game despite the cell shaded look. My first impressions positive, but like I said, I would probably wait for a bigger sale because it didn't get its hooks in me. But one of these days, I'm going to go back to it, and I feel like I'm going to be proven wrong. That like, oh no, you should have been playing this whole time.
No, it's really good. I enjoyed it quite a lot.
I'm going to skip ahead to, and we can always backtrack if you want to touch on something that I'm skipping over. Is Pixar 1978. This is my least favorite in the Pixar Rip series. I think 89. They go in order as 89 was my favorite, 95 was my second favorite, and then 78 release order was my favorite order. But even being the worst in the series when it comes to Pixel Ripped is a pretty good thing. Meaning is like it really does some more experimental stuff with the series, and if you're a retro gamer like I am, it sort of melds the worlds great. And I think honestly, $11.24 is a great price for it. Like no one's gonna walk away from spending $11.24 and being like, oh, I feel like I got ripped off. It's a fun adventure. It really is.
I agree with everything you said, except I like 95 the best. 95 for me, and then 89, and then this one. I feel like they went a little too far back with 1978. I feel like,
Mm,
they could have done like 85 would have been good, 84, 85. Um, but all these games are awesome. And there's some really, really cool stuff, especially as you get toward the end of the game, that really kind of makes it all worth it. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Agreed. Yeah, I think they stay on some of the sections too long, where it's you're like, okay, enough of this, and then and then you get to the end of the game, and they really mix things up, and you're like, oh man, I feel like I could have spent way longer in some of these other shorter sections.
Right.
It's uh, I don't want to talk about Mayor, other than to say that it should have been $20 when it launched, as it was on other platforms. It's a cute game, but just want to say not enough of a discount, because that's not a discount. That's cheating. You're picking the next game. Is it Trombone Champ?
I'll pick the next game with a question, and I'll be interested to hear if you or anyone in the chat can answer it. Um, did they ever fix Ten Hearts? Because I know Ten Hearts, we played it when it was in beta state, and it was really rough in terms of polish.
Yeah.
And it didn't launch when it was supposed to. In fact, it went silent for about, I want to say, 3 months before it eventually ended up coming to the store quietly. And I never went back to see if they improved on it or not. I know that it's a good game. I played it in VR years ago on Steam and really enjoyed it. But I'm not sure how this port turned out.
I can't answer the question, because when we were playtesting that shitty version, I was like, this is not ready for release. This has been in development forever. I don't know why this is happening. It looked like PSVR 1 level of resolution. And then it was teleport only. Like, it was just like, come on, this is so ridiculous. And then, like, the third puzzle that you get to, it makes no sense. Like, I felt like, what are we doing? Like, why is it so confusing? We're on, like, still in tutorial mode. Why don't I understand what I'm supposed to be doing? And I just felt like it wasn't, the signposting wasn't good enough. But I've heard people say, oh, yeah, and there he is. I was like, I feel like Nihilist Ryan has said good things about this, and there he is in the chat saying it's blurry and teleport only, but still a great game. So I trust Nihilist Ryan, although I know that Nihilist Ryan is the kind of person who, like, really loves like the more artistic side of gaming, and so you should keep that in mind if we're trusting Nihilist Ryan's viewpoints, which I do.
I'm gonna say save your $8
Mhm.
and spend two of them on Shadow Point, which, if you have Plus, is like $1.50, which is kind of ridiculous. Again, I think another situation like the other game where it's PSVR1, so they're just trying to get what they can. But this is a good puzzle game, man, and $2, $1.50. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, I think I gave this game like a 7 or something when it came out. And doesn't it have Patrick Stewart as the voiceover?
It does.
That's worth it alone. Like, give me some Jean-Luc Picard in any game, and I'll give you $2. So yeah, I'm
Word.
I'm 100% with you on this one. It's a good puzzle game. Good puzzle game. All right. Skip cat lateral damage. That's got an awful VR mode. Come on. Give me control over the screen. Here we go. Listen, guilty pleasure, Wes. With Deadland 2 on the way, you guys need to see what all the fuss is about. For 49 cents or 29 cents with Plus, you can get Deadland VR, which is the only endless runner I'm aware of in VR. It's janky and it's buggy, but man, it was like $6 when I bought it, and I got 6 hours of gaming out of it, and I had so much fun despite the fact it is a guilty pleasure from top to bottom. Go spend your 29 cents and find out why you should be excited for Deadland 2. God, I hope Deadland 2 is good. It's probably gonna suck, but like, this is 29 cents, Wes. 29 cents.
Exactly. Can you think of anything else in 2025 that you can buy for 29 cents? Because I'm struggling right now.
No. Like, legit no. That's a good question. You could take 29 cents out of my bank account right now and I wouldn't even notice. I'd be like, what was that?
Right.
29-cent purchase? I don't know. I wouldn't even dispute it. I had no idea what's going on. I think Miles will go to bat for Captain Toonhead, but I haven't played it myself. That is a game I want to get back to. You've played it though.
Yeah, I'll back Miles up on this. We were actually talking about this recently that this is an underrated game. I don't know why more people didn't kind of get behind this one. Not that it's going to win Game of the Year or anything, but it's really cute. It has a certain charm to it, certain brand of humor going on. It's polished. It's not janky, and it's a very unique take on like a tower defense mechanic. But don't run away because it's tower defense, because it's not pure tower defense. It's a tower defense game that after you put all the things in place for each wave, you go down to ground level and it's a first person shooter while the waves play out. It's fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game.
Excellent. 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 All right. It's time, I think, for us to move on to page 3 of this. Let's see if we can do that. I don't think there's that many on page 3. Am I wrong? It's a pretty decent page. Let's see. Dude, I actually played some Corridor VR recently. Pleasantly surprised that developer, single person dev team, one of those, this is the one about the mirror. You switching place. Every level you're in has a mirror, and you're switching places with yourself through the mirror. Things happen on one side, not the other side. And when I played it, it was awful at launch, right? It was using reprojection, but it was like a bad reprojection. It is a very simple art style. And it was stuttering constantly. And I was like, dude, you're gonna make somebody sick. Well, he was like, oh, I didn't realize. And then he made it 120 native. I was like, oh, so now it runs crazy smooth. And there's some really good puzzles in there. I don't think it's $15 like of puzzles. I think it's like wait until it's like $7 or $8, but just keep it in mind. I just wanted to give that game a shout out. So happy that the developer updated it. I just think he was charging too much out of the gate.
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I'll take your word for it.
Are we going to recommend Esper for 89 cents?
I didn't play Esper.
Oh,
actually,
it's fun. It's one of those, like, no locomotion whatsoever. You sit at a desk and you just have telekinetic powers to solve puzzles across the room. And the room changes drastically throughout the course of the, I don't know, 2 hours it takes to beat it. But I'm going to, again, here we are. 89 cents, even less with Plus. So, like, if you're just trying to scoop up some fun little PSVR 1 games, the fact that it's under $1, it's gonna be hard not to recommend. That was a fun little one.
And given the fact that we have very limited choices now, or we're kind of getting down to the PSVR1 bottom of the barrel, I am going to go to bat for a couple of these games based on the fun I had with them at the time. And
Give
I'm
it to
going to
me,
start
man.
with Guns and Stories. Guns and Stories Bulletproof. This is
Interesting.
a stationary wave shooter, but it's fun. Has a certain humor about it. Some funny jokes in there, maybe even if they are kind of dad jokes. But you have a drunk narrator in the game, and it's a Western, story-driven Western that's being told verbally through the eyes of a drunk, and therefore things change pretty abruptly as you play through each of these levels. But the gameplay was challenging, but fun.
This was an interesting one for me because I remember being like, man, this is polished for what it is, right? But it was the midst of so many wave shooters and so many stationary wave shooters, and so it was just like, man, this is not what we need, and I was just over it, and so I played through the entire thing, and I was like, just not impressed. But however, what was here is polished, right? And so if you are looking for a good stationary wave shooter, yeah, it's hard to argue. I think what's here is good. Okay, I was trying to jump ahead, but I just can't because Kona VR for only $4. This is the bundle, right? I think it was the VR mode that you had to download at one point was like $5 or $10. Then you had to buy the game for another $25, right? And now they're selling the game and VR bundle together for $4. Listen, it's blurry. You can barely read the map. It's click turning only. I remember all of this, and it's just like It's not what I wanted. However, it provides something on PSVR1 that was just missing, right? Like the fact that you can walk up to your truck and just get in and start driving from one place to another. It's like, what? Why don't more games have shit like this? Right? It's the hubris question all over again, right? It's nothing mind blowing, but in VR it feels so good to just be like, oh, time to get to my next place. And it's sort of like this mini open world where you just like walk up to your truck, get in, and now you're driving to the next place. Like you're driving, you're not like looking at someone like a cutscene while you drive. You're driving the truck. And I was like, listen, if you have, especially if you haven't graduated to PSVR2 yet, like this is just you lost a lot in the VR translation, but it's still doing something very cool, especially for $4. So it's getting a thumbs up for me, but in like the most roundabout way possible.
The original hybrid game, Kona VR.
It's true. It's true. Although I don't know, Resident Evil 7 probably beat it to market by a year or so.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. So
all right, I got one more.
What do you got?
I'm going to, against all odds, go to bat for Unearthing Mars 2, The Ancient War, because a decent looking game in terms of like graphics, as I recall. Probably looks like garbage today, but back then looked pretty good. And aim support.
Yeah.
There were very few good aim controller games, and I counted this as one of them. This is a game that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah. I mean, it was much, much better than the really, really low budget Unearthing Mars 1. Right, which actually had good moments in it too, but this was just they cut out all the crap and said we're just gonna just shoot stuff from start to finish. That was pretty cool. Yeah, for the price, it's all right.
Another node-based rail shooter type game.
I'm only gonna bring up one more, and that is Boxed In. It is $4.19, even cheaper with Plus. It just came to Quest as Boxed Out. And this game notoriously has a hidden mode in it where you can access Gamecat Island. And you can even access Gamecat Island on Quest, which is really funny that we made an appearance in a Quest game, which is really strange. So I think the Quest Island, I think Gamecat Island is better than the actual game of Boxed In. You get a jetpack and fly around. There's time trials, and it's just, listen, it's the most without parole game there is, because it's like got me and Dave and AJ memorialized in it, and all of our inside jokes are kind of in there too. I think Miles is memorialized in it too, in a completely different way. It's just a weird little obscure nugget of without parole history, and that's the only reason I'm really recommending it. The game itself is all right, but it does have aim support, move support, DualShock support, so it's an okay little puzzler on top of everything else.
Gamecat Island sounds nefarious. I want the list. Who went to Gamecat Island, Brian?
Who went to Gamecat Island? I live on Gamecat Island, and you are right. It is nefarious. It's fuck. Here's this dude. This is what I'm highlighting right now. Mayetsu Pure Station. Listen, I was looking through this list before the show started, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, legitimately, I don't know what this game is. It's by Winking Skywalker Entertainment, which was a very prolific VR publisher back in the PSVR 1 era. Came out in 2020. Never heard of it. It is. I thought that maybe it was listed in the VR section on accident, but here we go. Right here in the information, it says PSVR headset enabled. I don't know what's going on here. Does anybody know anything about this game? Like 2020, dude, we were hurting for PSVR games. I was playing everything that came along. How did this game come out and I didn't know about it till 5 years later? I don't know what this is.
Honestly, it probably came out. It was like probably $80 or something. And just all like interactive story and not a game. But that would be my guess.
That's probably exactly what happened. Oh, man. Oops, what are we doing here? White screen of death. All right. We got some tips to read, and then we're going to do 4-minute challenge. But some decent stuff on sale, man. I'm glad we went through that. This little trip down memory lane on top of it all. Noctis with the $1. That was it. Thank you. I'm sure if you left a comment in the chat, I'm sorry that I missed it. Elderly Morningstar with the €5 says, yeah, and Miles. That's right. His last comment was about all of us, but didn't mention Miles. We know you meant Miles. We know you weren't throwing shade. Natless Ryan the Game Feline with the $5 said flight and hostel. I thought he misspelled hotel, but I guess he's getting a hostel. Flights in a hostel booked for PAX East 2025. See y'all in a couple months. Holy crap, dude, that is coming up so fast.
Oh,
Yo,
no.
I think we didn't announce. I think we're doing a fundraising stream on Saturday.
I hope so. I hope so. It is getting close, Brian.
Yeah. I've been kind of out of it, and I haven't really had my head in the game. And now with May quickly approaching, with PAX East quickly approaching, Gamecat Meetup quickly approaching, we're realizing like just how much money this is going to cost, and like that most of us can't afford it on our current income. So we're going to do a fundraising stream on this Saturday. It's going to start early. I want to say like around 11 a.m. like is the goal. But I'll have it scheduled, within the next day or two, so you guys will all be aware. The last fundraising stream we did was so fucking fun, Wes, when we did like Jackbox and we were just hanging out, having a good time. And so we're gonna try to have some fun. Try to have some fun with this. Maybe we'll do Jackbox again, but we'll definitely make it a fun watch. Even if you're not, donating or whatever, just show up and have fun with us. That's the important part. But also, Niles Ryan, it's good. It'll be good to see you again. It could be good to see everybody who's coming. So much fun meeting the cats. Dead Ringer, the Game Cat with the $5 tip, says, Happy West Day. Nice to hear both of your opinions on the new games coming soon. VR Game Showcase is going to be great. I'll be watching with y'all. Excellent. Hype Phase with the Canadian $10 tip says, this tip brought to you by the sub-headline, Arcanage sells big. Yeah, dude, it would have been so funny.
I noticed this. Like, yeah, well, we revisited this topic, did we not?
Would have been the funniest thing ever if I had Arcanage sells big as the headline for today's show as well. That's my favorite inside joke. That's not...
when you co-stream VR Game Showcase, you should make it the sub-headline for that.
That's fair. Oh, holy crap. Chief sits on bold and not saying a goddamn word, Gamecat. That is a great fucking name. With the $20 tip. Thanks for your generosity, my friend. He says, hey, y'all, hope your days are going well. They are always going much better when we're doing a Gamescast. If anything is bad, Gamescast makes it better. Ben Schroeder with the $5.29 says, couldn't send a super chat of only 29 cents. They don't allow that, huh? Good. And well, save your 29 cents. Although, you didn't. Save your 29 cents for Deadlands. That's what it's all about. And then AJ with PSVR Underground saying, with the $2 tip, says Galaxy Cart is actually $3.99 with plus. Oh my God, I can't read. $3.99 with plus. Thank you, Anakin. Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. So wait, it was $10 without plus and only $4 with plus? Crazy.
Yeah, I'd play $4 to play it one time. Honestly.
Yeah. And I saw Tatum in the chat say, play Galaxy Kart with friends. I agree with that, but I also disagree with that. When you first jump into Galaxy Kart, play it alone. Jump in, figure out what vehicles you like. They all have their own special weapon with a cooldown and or special ability. And so figure out what car you like, get to know the tracks. There's like secret passages on every single track, and it runs flawlessly in single player mode, right? You don't have to worry about lag or an online connection or anything like that. And so you get to see like just how good the game can look running at 90 native and at that speed. And then when you get into multiplayer, like, you'll experience maybe a hiccup here or there, but you also know what you're doing. So play it both ways. I actually had a lot of fun playing Galaxy Kart in single player and multiplayer. Just saying.
You know who else plays it both ways, Brian?
Oh, me and your mom have a lot in common. I'm holding for applause. That doesn't work so well on a podcast with two people and no.
Yes, agreed. As a general rule of thumb, there's not many things in life that are more frustrating than trying to learn how to play a kart racer while going up against live competition. You should always go in first and learn how to play the game in single player mode and then invite friends.
Hell yeah. They also did a great job of like giving you stuff to unlock. There's like plenty of, like I said, tons of new courses, new maps, new racers to unlock. It's just playing it and grinding just to kind of unlock everything is half the fun. Sort of like when you get a new Smash Brothers game. It's like that's all part of it. Just part of the experience, prolonging the whole thing. Fifth with the Australian $2 tip gets in under the wire and says, Brian, what's your favorite VR game ever? VR 1 or 2? You want to tell him, Wes, or should I?
Our favorite VR game ever is Resident Evil 7 VR.
Nailed it. Listen, I would have also taken Ancient Dungeon, or I would have also taken Immortal Legacy as the joke.
Madison?
No. Like I love Madison, and I stand by the 10 that I gave it because it does so many things great. Like it's actually terrifying to play, and you like just want to stop playing. That's how scary it is, right? I think it deserves the 10, but like I don't want to play Madison over and over and over again every 6 months like I do with Resident Evil 7. You get the package.
Look what I got in the mail. I got this creepy package here.
Did you open it yet?
And when I open it up,
hell yeah. Did you open the camera yet? Your green screen is cutting out half of this stuff.
I'm sorry. Can you hear it? It's playing the it's playing the Blue Knees song.
Nice.
No, it's awesome. Salvador made this for me and sent it, and it's a perfect replica with sound effects and lights. And he sent me a stack of Polaroids with it that have all like the cool pictures from the game on it, and the T-shirt as well. It was awesome. Coolest thing I've ever gotten since I started doing this. So shout out Salvador.
Yeah, it is. I don't even know what I'm showing here. Like, what? This can't be my footage. This is flat screen footage of Resident Evil 7. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, this is somebody else's footage. Sorry, whoever's footage I'm using, I apologize, from fucking years ago. Yeah, dude, Salvador sending us those Madison cameras, crazy, right? Everything about it was there's so much attention to detail with the Polaroids itself, the sound, the camera, the box that it comes in, looking just like the one that Luca gets in the game. Very, very cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten anything quite as cool as that ever doing this either. Awesome. But yeah, Resident Evil 7 for sure. This is unlike Madison, a game that I want to play over and over and over again. And even if we get Resident Evil 7 on PSVR 2, and it only has dual sense support and no sense controller support, right? Just like the PSVR 1 version, I'll be happy with that because it's such an amazing game. I will take whatever concessions we need to take in order to get it. Wes, do you have a game picked out for the 4-minute challenge?
Indeed.
Excellent. Well, guys, I need all the help we can get from the chat. Please, and thank you, help me out. Wes has a PSVR 1 or PSVR 2 game in that little head of his, and you and I out there have 4 minutes in an infinite number, which isn't really true. It's infinite means infinite, but as many as we can ask in 4 minutes, questions in order to figure out what game he's thinking of. Yes or no questions only. So help me out with good questions in the chat, and then give me good game suggestions based on the answers we get. Time to put the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it. On your mark, get Des, go. Is this a PSVR 1 game?
No.
Is this a PSVR 2 exclusive game?
No.
Okay. Non-exclusive. Cool. Did we mention this game on today's show? We mentioned a lot of games.
Yes. I think we did.
Did we mention it in the sale?
No.
No. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. Crap. Was it a launch game? PSVR2 launch game?
Mm, no.
Okay. Let me check. Ace Gamer Cat's wondering if it's multiplayer.
Yes.
Okay. Is it? Oh. Oh. Uh. Is it a? Is it a military shooter?
Yes.
Whoa. Is it by Triangle Factory?
No.
Okay, so it's the other one. Wait, how do we narrow it down? Does it feature a game mode called TTT?
ETT. I don't think so. No, not that I
Is it,
know of.
wait, am I forgetting the name of the? I will tell you what TTT is in my head for a reason. Okay. Is it? Was it made by a studio that no longer exists?
No.
You know, like First Contact Entertainment. No. Okay. Is it? Looper saying Crossfire. Okay. Is it? Does it have a horde mode?
Word mode.
4-player horde mode?
Yeah, I guess you're talking like a wave-based mode. Sure.
Wave-based mode that you, me, and Miles and AJ all played together
Yeah.
for the review.
It does
Yeah,
have one of those.
that's the one. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna roll the dice. Is it Crossfire Sierra Squad?
It is indeed Crossfire Sierra Squad, the game that I first played at GDC 2023, almost 2 years ago to the day, and I will be
Right.
returning to GDC in just a few weeks for the first time since then.
Ooh.
Super excited for that.
Anything exciting happening at GDC, Wes? Anything you're looking forward
I
to?
don't know. I have no idea. I know that. I don't even know if I can say that. Yeah, I know one cool studio that's going to be there, showing off something for PSVR2. I don't know if I can say it yet, but it will be announced soon.
Sweet. The future's looking bright, Wes. Future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. In fact.
It's a little weird this year. Typically, these studios play our stuff if you're going to be at GDC, but I haven't seen any of it, so I really don't even know what kind of cool VR is going to be there. If there's going to be any, there's surely there will be. But I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to do some detective work to try to figure out what I need to be checking out while I'm there.
There we go. I don't know if our video froze on stream, but all I did was I tried to do is open a folder and everything froze visually. Hopefully you guys still heard us the whole time. All right, man. Before we get out of here, anything happening on Virtual Strangers? If you guys don't fucking know this already, Wes is the host of Virtual Strangers over there on his channel. Click the link in the description below. Go subscribe. It covers all VR, not just PSVR2. Is anything good going on over there? Anything of note recently or coming up?
Yeah, no. I mean, we didn't do a show this week. Had every intention of it, but Roots kind of dropped off the face of the earth over the weekend, and I don't know. He's got something going on. He didn't elaborate on what it was, but I didn't hear from him till like Monday morning. Literally all weekend, I didn't hear anything from him until Monday morning, and it was just basically him telling me he's got stuff going on, can't do a show. And by that point, it was a little too late for me to try to put it together and produce a show myself on a work day, you know. So hopefully we'll be back this weekend to do some gameplay impressions. A lot of cool stuff out right now we need to talk about, and then I'd say next week it'll be that time again for Game of the Month for February, and we'll bring Looper and D back into the mix, so to speak.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, everybody refresh in case you're having issues. I think whatever I did over here like really screwed up YouTube. So just refresh and you should be fine. Sounds like that should be working. All right, man. Well, it's time to get out of here. So thank you very much, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks everybody who supports this channel in their own unique ways. Rypop for getting this up on podcast services of your choice. It's Wednesday, so Waleed is doing timestamps tonight. Usually gets them out a little bit later than Rody does, so please be patient. It'll only be a few hours. And it sometimes takes me a couple hours to notice that he sends them, so sometimes it's on me. Also, everyone who supports the channel financially, you guys are fucking awesome. I appreciate you so very much for keeping the lights on over by being a Patreon supporter, patreon.com/withoutparolegames, by being a member over here, by tipping during the show. It all helps, guys, so very much. And I also saw the tips that you guys left on the on Monday's show after the fact. Really amazing. You guys show your support. I love it. You're the best. I love you. But also shout out to everybody who shows up, watches the show, hangs out in the chat, helps during 20 questions, or just sits back, watches, and doesn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there, and we love you just as much. Happy West Day, Wes.
Happy West Day, Brian. Happy West Day, cats. See you soon.
Let's go. Oof. Oh my God, look at this thumbnail. This is I think AJ misses these style of thumbnails when I used to do like the kind of collage like things with different games. The game, the games that we have in here are so fucking random. I just love that I'm Hungry was one of the games I decided to put in the fucking thumbnail of all games.
That's fine. It's on sale. I saw it on the page and thought to myself, what the hell? Who would ever play this? And now it's coming back before the end of the show to haunt me.
I will say, man, I'm hungry. But, there was a whole era there where there were these like food prep games where you had customers in line, and like there was like ones with sushi restaurants and pizza places and whatever. It's just like that was a thing for like everyone just wanted to be Cooking Mama or Overcooked, right? And it was just like there was just a ton of them in VR. That was like a time period. It was like a oversaturation of those games for a while. And I'm Hungry wasn't that bad. It was surprisingly good for what it was. Strangely,
I couldn't bring myself to play those games after all of the years of working in restaurants and waiting tables. I'm still trying to not have these nightmares. Yep. So I wouldn't dare go into VR to do that.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. I still have those nightmares occasionally, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Looper, is it Looper? Saying Without Parole History 2023, please. This week, Without Parole History 2023. So I'm going back to 2023 on Looper's request. And I'm only seeing really one. Nope, hold on. That's not it. 219. Here we go. I hope this works. Yeah, it is. So it's very close. It's this weekend Without Parole History for sure. It is 2/22/23. It's a lot of twos. Let's check it out. Dude, PSVR2 launch day is the thumbnail. It says, we've waited so long. It's launch day. PlayStation VR2 is here. This was a crazy day, man. Not only were we all trying to do our own live streams and get some hands-on impressions with it, everyone's sort of waiting for their own headset, except for Miles, to show up the day it launched, and then of course get together to do a live stream where we all had lots to say about our first impressions. This was an exciting time, man. Really exciting time.
Magical time. One of my favorite periods ever as I started doing this. Just so great. Well, the top-notch, big budget titles we got, the new technology in the headset, the pretty much universal optimism from the entire VR space, plus traditional gamers taking notice, everyone raving about Gran Turismo. It was a great time.
Yeah. I mean, I expected to be kind of like blown away, but yeah, I mean, when I've recounted the story many times, but Gran Turismo 7 was just mind blowing. Getting in there and not even noticing reprojection, being like, oh, what's going on here? Like it was just so good looking when you got in there, and when it kicked you into VR, it was like such a wow, what an amazing way to kick off my my time with PSVR 2. So Really, really good
It was
stuff.
the time, as beautiful as it was the beginning of a certain level of education for console VR gamers because everyone was living in ignorant bliss, not knowing what reprojection and mirror was prior to that. And then everyone in the coming weeks and months would get educated on things that they were seeing but didn't realize it, and now nobody can unsee it, Brian.
You know what's funny
We've
is
gone
that
too
if you
far.
go back and watch my Horizon Call of the Mountain review, I think it was the first review that I did. Maybe that, I can't remember if it was that or Gran Turismo. I think it was Horizon. Um, I actually discussed reprojection and said people are mistakenly calling TAA anti-aliasing reprojection. Like I actually just am completely wrong in my review. I talked to a couple developers and was like, "Oh, this is what we're really seeing. This is the reason for the ghosting." Nope. As it turns out, I was completely wrong, and so were they. And so there it is, forever in my review, total error about a topic that we became pretty well versed on over the next couple of years. It's good stuff.